Welcome, welcome. You're listening to My Coffee Conversation here at Rudy Radio, powered by Strong Island Entertainment. I am your host, Yolanda, and I'm accompanied by,
Co-host Daniel Hayes.
and for all those who don't know about My Coffee Conversations, My Coffee Conversation is where we have discussions based on different topics over coffee.
Yeah.
But before we get into the topic of discussion, I'd like to introduce our guest. Our guest appearance today is no other than Mr. Eli. I know he's younger than me, but we all call him that anyway. I would like to welcome you to our show. How are you?
Thank you, Yolanda. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I'm so happy to be here.
And we are so happy to have you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So yes, my name is Eli Joseph. I am. I wear a bunch of hats.
Wow. Well, you know what?
Which direction I go with, you know?
We
Jack of
had
all
that look
trades.
best.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm media focused. I'm a photographer. I'm an actor, former model.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You was on. I'm sorry, but you was on Power, right?
Yeah, I was on Power. Episode 2 of Power.
I need my autograph after this.
Yeah, so it's a combination of that. But right now, I take I definitely focus on photography.
Okay.
I make sure that's my it's really a breadwinner right now. So
Yeah, and you're actually wonderful at it.
Thank
That's
you.
where
I
our
appreciate
intro
it.
pictures came from, if anyone don't know. But you're really wonderful. So at this time, would you like to tell people like where they can get in touch with you, like your Instagram, your Facebook?
Yeah. If anyone out there is looking for a photographer for pretty much any event, I travel worldwide and shoot weddings. I've shot weddings in France. I've shot weddings in Martinique, Jamaica.
Oh, Jamaica.
Jamaica, yeah.
International known.
International known.
See you.
DR, Haiti, you name it. I'm flying out, and I provide them an all-inclusive package for your all-inclusive wedding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, and if people looking to book a photo shoot and thing of that nature, they can find me at EJ Creative NYC.
Okay.
That's on Instagram, and from Instagram you'll be able to see it. Everything else. What I mean?
Okay.
That's at EJ Creative NYC.
NYC. And that you also be able to post a link and everything,
Yeah,
on
exactly.
Facebook, so
Yeah.
everybody will be able to, anybody be able to get in touch with you.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
regardless of what, you have to make sure you pencil me in for my photo shoots, okay?
I got you.
So, I know everyone is patiently awaiting what topic that we're going to speak about today. So,
Anxious.
you patient? You waiting? You waiting? Let's see. Mr. Welfare.
I like that.
You like that? You like Mr.
Like
Welfare?
that.
Mr. Welfare.
Like
yeah,
that.
knowing your role in a marriage or relationship. Woo! I can feel it about to get hopped up in high.
Definitely about to heat up. Definitely about to heat up.
So, let me ask this question, okay? Do you feel that there is a role in a relationship? And if you do, what is it? I mean, Daniel, do you feel like there's a role in a relationship, or?
I definitely feel that it's a role in a relationship on both sides. The father, the male.
Mm-hmm. I would hope so.
The head of household, provider.
Oh, you trying to take my
A
stilo?
little bit. The woman. She is the caregiver. She's also a provider in her own way. She provide the love.
Yeah, the nurturer.
The nurturer.
Somebody been listening to me. So Eli over here, you
You know what? That's a really interesting conversation that I feel like lately I've had a lot. And I have a cousin that plays the devil's advocate all the time, and she doesn't like to hear that. She doesn't like to hear that a woman can actually have, or a woman should have a role in a relationship. She feels as if, we got into this equally, and this is not the time of when women are supposed to be in their place and do this and do that, and men have the right to come home and go to work and do as they please. And I have that argument with her all the time. I feel like it's breaking up a lot of families. The fact that it's not understood that it's okay to have our place in the relationship.
right, right.
And yeah,
So you do feel that there are should be roles in a relationship.
feel like there should be roles, and I feel like it should be embraced.
Okay.
Yeah,
He said not only a role, but you need to take it on.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you know,
I
Like,
agree.
don't just know it's a role. You need to go ahead on and go with it.
yeah, there you go. I agree with you 1000%.
Act it out. Need some action.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I totally agree. I feel like there are roles because roles create structure. And that's what we need. And that's what we are missing when it comes to relationships is that we are missing that structure. So I do feel that there are a head of household, like Daniel eloquently put it, and there is a husband. And then you have your caregiver, your nurturer, and then you have your wife. You know what I mean? So there are different roles, and they're different. And what I feel is that society has actually started grouping them together. So if you're head of household and husband, they automatically mesh, which I don't feel like it should be that way. And I feel like what the problem that we are having is, as you stated with your cousin, is that equality syndrome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So women started feeling like, hey, I'm not being treated as an equal because because he bring home the bread or to bring home the money, he gonna treat me any kind of way. What we have to understand is that it's not a point of being equal. It's being equally important. I'm not equal to my husband. He's a man. We are not the same. Okay, we are not supposed to be the same. If we was the same, one of us wouldn't be necessary.
Exactly.
Right?
Makes
So
sense.
that's right.
Makes
So
sense.
it's like pieces to a puzzle. If you got the same piece, that puzzling is not gonna get fixed. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Exactly. So we are not the same. We are not equal, but our roles are equally important. Just because he may go out to work and bring home the money doesn't mean his role is greater than mine.
Now here's my question. Say we live in a day and age where anyone could get a job where I'm making more money than you, you're making more money than me. So say she is making a lot more money than him to the point, and they have a child, and now he's staying home and he's being a stay-at-home father. And, as a man, sometimes, your ego can get hit. And sometimes I feel like there's guys in that position as well. They kind of try to check their women and cause issues just to make they can be known that it's not because of the money. It's because I'm a man. But then again, on the other flip side, when it's the guy in that position bringing in the money, then it's like, well, I'm the breadwinner. I do this, I do that. So it's like,
But that's why, when you're entering a relationship or you're entering into a marriage, that's why it's so important to know these different roles, because you need to sit down. What is your idea of a husband? What is your idea of a head of household? But many times, even when I was coming up, those things wasn't explained to me. This is something I had to learn along the way. So those things wasn't explained to me, that they are different entities. So I'm looking for a husband. When I'm getting a husband, I'm looking now. He's a good provider. He is a protector. So
Yeah,
he
the
was
checklist.
right. I was like the checklist, right? So I'm looking for him to fall under those characteristics, when technically those characteristics equaled head of household. That was not equaling husband. See, because head of household, he is there for the family. Yeah. My husband is there for me. Mm-hmm. You see? Mm-hmm. So that's why this segment is called Mr. Welfare, because if you notice, with the government, that's what the government does. The government supplies your food, insurance, he pays the bills, right? And he's not taking you out, okay? He's not romancing you.
No.
He's not whining and dining you. He's not making you feel pretty, all right?
Gotcha.
That's not his job. He's there as head of household.
Yeah.
So what happened is that we have meshed husband and provider and all that together, where now a lot of times people don't know the role. They don't know that role. You'll have men come in and say, listen, I pay the bills. I went to work. What's her problem? What's her problem? She spends the money. What's the problem?
You should be happy.
Or she should be happy, right? But the problem is because you're not being her husband. You know what I mean? So that's where the problem comes in at. So we are meshing that together when we are not treating as two different entities. They're head of household. And regardless who, I'm glad you touched on that topic about because she makes the money. Yeah. Now, that was one of the questions. It says, what does it mean when the roles change? Does the attitude change with it? You know what I mean? Because even if he comes home, depending on the individual, he's like, you should have these. Why the house ain't clean? I done been. You say, well, I've been taking care of the woman. I've been taking care of the kids. I'm tired of the. Well, I've been out working all day. So what has happened is that nobody's respecting the roles. It's not that it should make it any because he goes out to work. Yeah. He's not even respecting the role as from his wife of what she had to do, that she was working at home being the caregiver. That's her role, and that's what she was supposed to be doing. When he comes home and say that, actually it's belittling to her. Gotcha. You know what I mean? Like now I feel like I'm less important. When you're not, we are equally important because that's what makes this work as a fine oil machine, is because we are equally team. We're a team. Yeah. We're working as a team. You go into an employment, a place of employment, you don't see everybody doing one job. Right? No. Everybody's not going to do one job. Machine, you know? Exactly. Yeah. In order for it to run, you have to have a team. So in your home, that's what it is. It's a team. So your job is no better than hers. Hers is no better than yours because we're equally important. Yeah.
That needs to be communicated, though.
Right, but that's why I said this is why I really find this to be so important because, like I said, when I was growing up, it wasn't like that in my home. You know, this
it was already understood.
No,
it wasn't.
No, it was never brought out to me in that aspect that, you know, about equality. So I grew up with that independent attitude, you know, like, I don't need no man do nothing for me. He can't, you know, with the head rocking. I used to rock the head now. I would rock the head. He don't know me. He don't know me. He don't want none of this. Okay? So it was like, you know, I'm making my money, you know, so I spend it on what I want to spend it on. So I grew up with that mentality, which that was not the mentality that was needed in order for my home to run the way that it should. Gotcha. Because my husband, I had to respect his headship because he's my protector. To me, you know, if somebody come through that door, he better not be under that bed.
Yeah, for real. or I'm standing behind you like, you gonna get that?
You the one making the money.
Right. Ladies first.
Right. You want equality, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So, you know, I had to understand that and I had to come to that realization in order for this to work. Does it mean that he makes all the decisions? No, because we still share in the decision-making process. And as long as if he is for the family, then I know he wouldn't do anything that would go against or hurt the family.
That's what you mean.
You know, so I tell him in a minute, anybody asks me, what is Alex Rowe? He is the head of the house. So I'm not trying to pull up my pants and stomp like the big dogs. You know, that's not my job. That's not what I want to do. But then again, I know my role as his wife, which I belong to him. Because at that time, you standing up there and you changing vows, right? You becoming hers, she becoming yours, right? So, I mean, that's the way y'all become one. So, yeah, a lot of people don't
see it like that. You know? No. And I feel like that's the issue that we have going on in this day and age with this generation of young couples, with this generation of new relationships. You know what I mean? You get with a young lady, and you court her if you're doing it properly, and then you get into a relationship, and it's not until things start moving along, you start hearing, well, you can't tell me what to do. You can't do this, and you can't do that. And then on the young man side, they don't know any better. So they're like, well, I'm gonna tell you what to do, and you're gonna do this, and and it causes a situation.
A clash.
It does, because at that time, nobody understood their role from the beginning.
No. Exactly, yeah.
And that's why I say I heard a lot of people, with relationships, because I've been around for a while now, but that's neither here nor there. But I've heard people say communication is the key. Yeah. How many times have we heard that, right? You want a successful relationship? What do you communicate? Communicating is the key. So when I started processing that, I said, wait a minute. How can you communicate when you don't even understand who you are?
Exactly.
You don't even understand your role in this relationship. So how are we going to communicate with each other when we don't have an understanding of what role that we are supposed to be taking on here? So that's why I had to, analyze that better. And I was like, no, communication can't be the key because I've been communicating to this dude like many, many times. He's not hearing me.
So it's more like education.
Right.
You need to be educated
You need to be
first,
educated.
and then communicate on what you know.
Exactly.
And you go from there, because if you don't know, you can't communicate. There's nothing to communicate because you don't know.
You don't know, right? How do they know? Well, I thought I was doing the right thing because I've been providing. I've been a good provider. I don't understand why she's upset or why she's always moping around and she's always saying that, I'm not a good husband when I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And because sometimes they're not knowledgeable of, you got to separate the two.
And I think there's this thing where it's like relationship roles and gender roles are not the same thing, right?
Say it again.
Relationship roles and gender roles.
No,
And
I don't.
I think that
They're-
is something that's misconstrued a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
It's like, because I'm the man, I'm supposed to do this. And because you're the woman, you're supposed to do that. And that's how it's been, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
And then when you come across a strong-minded individual, which would be better for you to be in a relationship with, because they would, you would help each other grow. That's the person you end up looking at as, well, you're going against me and what I'm trying to do for you. Be the woman and just take what I'm trying to do for you.
Well, the whole thing is when she knows who she is and she's comfortable with that role, he don't have to tell her that.
Yeah.
If he's portraying it the right way, he would never have to tell her that. But if he come at her like he the king of the jungle, then of course she's gonna be like, whoa. Just because we are equally important don't mean you could be disrespectful. That we will not tolerate.
Of course.
And any man who respects her as his wife would not want to disrespect her anyway.
Exactly.
So if being a man doesn't allow you to beat your chest and roar,
Ego.
right?
Big ego.
That's not what it entails. Because before you became married, you were still a man.
Yeah.
So you were still a head of household, even if it was your household. All you doing now is rolling that over and learning how to be a husband.
Yeah.
So if you took care of your situation when you were on your own as a man, then now all you have to know, how do I be a husband?
Yeah.
You see, because you already know how to provide. You already know how to take care of your home. As a man, this is what you've done. Now it's, how do I be a good husband? And a good husband, he doesn't want to disrespect his wife.
Of course not.
So that's where we, because women be like, what you mean? He ain't gonna be telling me what to do. I don't care what that lady. And that's fine. These are
There
my
goes the head
opinions.
shaking again.
Yeah, they go to head shaking.
The head shaking.
Right? Everybody be like, I don't care what
We're going to get a
nobody
bobblehead if you want to put it right here.
Because
Whenever she get an attitude, just
Right? We gonna
flick it.
So I be like, and everything would be going all crazy all the time. But I mean, these are just my opinions, and I feel like if there is structure, because of any kind of some people say that marriage is a business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And in any business, in order for it to be successful, there have to be organization. Yeah. We cannot. There's no way we're going to be doing the same thing. Okay, so now we're both trying to pull for headship.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Become
It's not going to
competition.
work. That's right. Now I'm competing against you,
Yeah.
and I'm not supposed to do that.
Drop those gems.
Right.
So we don't want to do that. So I know we said, do we think that these roles are in existence today? So do you think that people are really practicing those roles today, or is it just like it's whatever? Everything is just up in the air now. Like it's whatever.
I think that money plays a big part. Finances play a big part with the roles today. Mm-hmm. Like the finances with women. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they feel independent, strong, and feel that they don't have to listen to anyone. So it's like when the husband walks through the door, he could be saying like important things, like not even disrespecting you, just, oh, I think we should do this. I think we should do this. Just whatever you guys are talking about, buying a house or a certain bank. And like the woman might not, she might feel that I don't have to listen to you. Like, why should we get this bank? I make more than you. I like my bank. So it's like, I think that plays a huge role nowadays. And of course, it's a lot of different people out there. You know, it's not just about money. To me personally, in my opinion, I think that finances is the main thing that's messing up the roles and relationships.
I agree. I agree. I feel like I have this conversation with Dev all the time, and I tell her I feel like ever since the Industrial Revolution, there's been this thing where women got into the more so into the factories while the men were at war, and were able to anything you can do, I could do better. And you have you know that picture with, so. And that's great. I love. I think I'm a feminist. You know what I'm saying? I'm pro women being empowered. But I think the problem with that was when the men came back and they wanted to jump back into the working field. They wanted to be the one that brought the bags of cash home. The women were like, well, I could do it too. So now who's gonna stay home with the kids? So you got to go back. Let me get back into the working field. You go back home and take care of the kids. And once again, I think we know that the divorce rate started going up and up. And since that time, the divorce rate has gone down. So I think that played a big, factor in where we are right now.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that as well. But I think when it comes to women, because, hey, right? I think,
Here we go.
right? We have to look at it, too, from our point of view that many of us has been forced into that position because you have the men that will be like, you pregnant? Okay.
Yeah.
So we were forced to find daycare. We were forced to be that provider, that independent person, because who else was there? And we had to take care of the home. So in some instances, we were forced into having that mindset. And even when they would meet someone, it would be difficult because it's like, I never want to be that way again. You know what just in case this dude decide to leave.
I get that.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to make sure. And she started building up a certain amount of strength. Like, yo, I ain't got to take this. Like, I've been doing it on my own. They start putting their hands up, chest goes out, hands up, chest out.
Don't forget the bobblehead.
That's right. Yo, I don't need
bobblehead.
this. So at that time, really, the male, he was not living up to his role. So we have been forced to become that head of household, that independent figure. Even when we was to meet someone else, it was like, just in case, I'm going to put my check over in this bank. Okay?
Exactly.
And I'll make sure I have my money because I don't know this dude going to run out.
Stash your money.
Right,
And I
exactly.
think there was a time when you got those famous 5 words. I don't need a man.
Well, I know she said that I could use this, but I had saw on Facebook, one of my friends, Shalia, she had put up, she said, it's cuffing season. Yeah. Women guard your apartments. So
yeah.
It's funny.
Cold out here.
Yeah, it's getting cold.
Winter's coming.
Right, exactly. So
knock.
Right. So now it's like, man, I love you, but it's really demasculating the man. And that's another thing that we as women have to be mindful of. And men, they need to be mindful of that as well, of being demasculated. Because once you walk into this woman's home, guess what she becomes? She becomes the man. Because she is now the head of house. You ain't paying no rent up in here. Yeah. I said 12 o'clock. I ain't tell you to be walking in here at 12:05. You know what I mean?
How does that work?
Right. So now, you, as men, how do you do that? How do you take that?
Wow, that's a great question.
That's a great question.
I've never been in that situation. I haven't been in that situation really. Like I've been over to a household of this is your place, and I respect that. Mm-hmm. But I see where you're going with this, and I'm kind of perplexed by it. Sir, I think you got me. You got me.
I'll step up. I honestly think it depends on the male. Now, if you got a lazy male, the guy is just gonna be like, all right, he's gonna be submissive, and he's just gonna do whatever she says. If you have a strong male, it's like, all right, I'm not gonna be able to do this, so I'm gonna set I'm gonna make a plan, and then say like I'm gonna be out in a month, 2 months, and figure something out because you obviously know that you can't take this at all. So it's either gonna go one or two ways. So you're gonna stay there, be submissive because you want to stay home and play video games and whatever the case is, or you're gonna have this strong male that's like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. Like, I'm gonna go get a second job. I'm gonna do what I need to do to get out of here.
And if you're there, contribute, right?
That too. That happy medium, the rate of that, I believe, is just so low. Like the guy can just be like, you know what, let's sit down and talk and figure this out. But the demasculating thing is a big issue because it's like when you're dealing with an independent, strong woman, it's hard for that compromise to be like, okay, let's sit down, let's work this out. It's usually my way or the highway.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I make the money, that's it. So that's why I didn't really mention the happy medium and sit down and speak about it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's either gonna be one or the other. So you're gonna stay there, be submissive, or you're gonna get your stuff together and you're gonna leave.
But if you come in and let's say you're really contributing, like let's say, okay, well we're gonna be together, we're gonna live together, but this is your place. Now, if I come in and I'm paying the electric bills, I'm paying the water, whatever other bills that are there to show you that I appreciate the fact that you allowed me to be with you in this way. What is that a woman's responsibility to understand that as well and say, okay, well, at least he's
It
making,
is.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's enough because it's like
I know.
once I get into the argument, the head bobbing is about to start, and then it's like, oh, you paid a little electric bill last month, and you like. That was my last. So you felt like you did something. And it's like, you came in here with some milk and some juice. And she started really breaking it down. And you like, it was more than milk and juice. Like,
I said that. That's Welch's.
Yeah, like,
that wasn't gold.
And it wasn't on sale.
Wait.
It wasn't on sale. Like, I paid full price for that. So she would really break it down and really make you feel like a nobody. That's why, like I said, once again, I didn't even really put the happy medium in there because it's hard when the woman is at the top. So it's like it's gonna be one or the other. Yeah. You gonna go, you gonna stay.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's the way it is. I mean, speaking as a female. Yes, we have that tendency to, it doesn't go our way, you got to go. Like, I'm going to let you know who's still in charge. I don't care how much you put in here. At the end of the day, it's my name on that lease. So I'm going to tell you, it's going to be either my way or the highway.
And the whole neighborhood know you don't work. Like, he at home on the couch again. She complaining, come out the house complaining. So it's just crazy being in that position, and it's either you're going to do one or two things, like I said. So if you can go through that and you can deal with that, and if you're that lazy, then that's what's going to happen. But if you're stronger than that, you're going to get up and you're going to make some changes, and it'll probably help you out and make you a better person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that's the things that we really have to take into consideration, because now once that happens, that first time that it ever happens, we got a caller coming in. Yes. Hello, caller. How are you?
Yeah, I'm calling about my coffee conversations.
Yes. May you state your name?
No, I'm anonymous.
No, you're not, because I know your voice. So what's your question?
Nah, I just, I was in that same situation with I'm listening to my coffee conversations now. Hello?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We here.
Yeah.
Oh, shut off your radio.
No. I don't know how this works.
Okay, turn off the volume. Turn off the and just talk.
Just give me a second. Is that better now?
Much better.
A lot
better.
better.
God. Yeah, I've been in this situation a long time ago in my life. You know, I'm an older male right now. But I can remember the time when my pops told me I had to pay a certain amount of money a week, right?
Uh-huh.
And I didn't do that. And he said I had to go.
Okay.
So I went. And I went to somebody's house I was living, you know, we were singing. So we seen each other, and long story short, she was like, wow, he magically moved in. Wow. You know, I was bringing a little here, a little there. And then one day we had this conversation, or something came up, and she was like, I paid the rent here. You're right. She said, I paid the rent here, and she told me to get out. And I'm like, wow, gotta get out. I didn't have time to save no money. I'd be out in X amount of time, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to tell you the truth, though. I wasn't paying what I should have been paying when I was there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I was
right.
buying stuff, of course. I was buying this. I was having fun. I was young. She was a little older than me.
Okay.
A couple of years. But I guess her mind, her enthusiasm, the way she was thinking about life was way ahead of me. Because I was a young male and I wasn't thinking about the future, you know?
Okay. All right. We totally understand, and we thank you for your comment. We thank you for
Definitely.
calling in.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Keep doing
Thank
what
you.
you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
caller.
Appreciate it.
Yes. So, as we could see, how they think of them as what's that, Lucky Charms? How he magically
Magically
Magically appeared.
Yeah, because that's what they be like. Hey, you got a pair of shoes under there. You have.
Take over the underwear drawer.
Yeah.
I'm here.
So what are we doing here? Well,
So women, we as women, and it's so funny because I don't know if any men had that happen where women just actually moved in. Do you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're a young man, especially in like your late 20s and entering your 30s, and you have all your stuff together, you have a spot, you have a car, you find yourself with younger women, maybe like in their mid 20s, that are like, okay, well, I appreciate this guy. He has his stuff together. I can see him. They start looking at you kind of like like husband material,
Right.
So then you see get comfortable, and they start to place themselves in the girlfriend category where they're there, and then they'll leave like repellent behind. So they'll leave like like a bra hair,
Like
or
a hair
brush, yeah, like
hair dryer.
So
Pads.
and then that
You don't use those.
you leave them hanging, just lying around or well placed. Then you bring an extra toothbrush and you leave it, and it starts to become, I'm gonna sleep over tonight. Then I might sleep over for the next 3 days,
Right.
and then now you have yourself a roommate.
Right. So,
Yeah.
but how do men handle that though? I mean, because women will tell you in a minute, like you magically appeared, and do men do they do things like that? Do they say, are you going home anytime soon, or like how does that work if a woman just moves in to your space?
I think we're a little less direct.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think so too. I think it's I think you have to sit down and have to have that talk.
Yeah.
So it's like you sit down and you're like, okay, like I see you had to your drawer and stuff like that.
Like,
what we gonna do?
right? Wow, time really flies when you're having fun.
Oh yeah.
We want to thank our listeners for joining my coffee conversations
I think we need
here.
part 2.
Right, we need a part
Yeah,
two, right?
definitely need a part 2.
Here at Rudy Radio, powered by Strong Island Entertainment. I would like to thank Mr. Eli for joining us, and please we look forward to you joining us again.
Absolutely.
All right.
It's a
Well,
pleasure.
thank you so much.
Definitely
All right, thank
appreciate
you,
you.
listeners. Until next time,
Thank you so much.
stay
guys.
strong, stay sweet.
Strong out.